I'm sure I will start yapping at some point. I am a professional yapper. You're never going to catch me not yapping at some point in life. What is up, everyone? So I'm going to show you today how I made this awesome short film that I wrote, directed, edited all in a couple hours completely by myself. So a couple weeks ago, I was just on my daily walk, as I do every single day. I'm a chronic walker. I cannot stop walking. Someone take me away from the trails. And it had recently snowed, and it was really cold, and it was very overcast, so it was very dim lighting. It was very soft lighting. And there was like no one on the trail, like at all. I remember thinking to myself, I was like, this is like kind of weird and creepy. It almost feels like it's like someone's watching you. No, I don't know why I had that thought, but I had that thought and it felt like that. I brought my camera with me because I've been wanting to get some shots. I had been wanting to, try some things out. Just camera wise, I'm trying to make a lot more content for this channel right here. I was like, that's actually a really cool short film idea. To make a film about how maybe someone's like watching you in the woods. And right then and there, literally right then and there, I took my camera and I said, let's make it.
I said, I want to make history. And that's what this is.
And then I just kind of ran some ideas. I had some really quick, just kind of shot ideas in my head, but honestly, I was making a lot of it up on the spot, which was really fun. I knew where I wanted to end it. I knew the vibes. I knew where I wanted it to go. Just try that at some point. Just make something, just know where it's going to go and know the storyline of it in your head, but don't think too much about it. Obviously, this isn't like a professional practice that I'm recommending here, but I still think it's really fun just to like try. I don't know. It was really fun. There are also some very hard challenges. Shooting yourself, extremely difficult. I actually didn't even have a tripod with me. I literally just had my camera and my camera strap. I shot this film on this camera that you're looking at right here. And I didn't want it to look like I was doing it by myself. I didn't want found footage vibe. That's not what I was going for. I looked like an absolute idiot when I was out there on this trail making this movie, but you know what? It was kind of fun, and I kind of ate it up, I'm afraid. So we're going to be watching that film today, and I'm just going to kind of like walk you through all the scenes, kind of like go through every single shot and how I did it and how I was able to accomplish it. There's some rough stuff in here. I think it's important when I'm showing people films, and as a filmmaker and as a director and like being in the little film community, to show and like acknowledge my mess ups, I feel like it's really fun for you to see mistakes that I've made without having to make them yourself. So there's some not so good stuff in here that we're going to cover as well. So yeah, let's just go right into it because I don't think we need any further explanation. I'm sure I will start yapping at some point. I am a professional yapper. You're never going to catch me not yapping at some point in life. Let's just go ahead and get started here. All right. So, gosh, okay. This is so... Watching this, knowing other people are watching this too, is very interesting. So yeah, we have the shot right here, 16 seconds in, and I'm already pausing it. Interestingly enough, I filmed this shot not even knowing when I was filming it. This was just like B-roll I was gathering because, like I said, I was on this walk and I brought my camera just to kind of get like stuff for like a demo reel. It was after I shot this that I came up with the idea for this. I was in the edit phase of this project and I was like, wait, this fits perfect. It's actually one of my favorite shots in the film. I did a really interesting color grade with it. I originally wanted to go very like film-esque. I wanted to put like a, one of the Premiere Pro like Kodak LUTs on over it. But I put over this kind of matrix green or whatever. And it just like really popped. It was like not kind of my normal style that I go for visually, but I ended up really liking it. Of course, I did some other basic corrections and such afterwards. I think I upped the saturation and just did some contrast, just some basic, exposure things. We'll get to some shots later on that were pretty interesting in terms of the lighting setup. So what I did was I just literally placed my camera. There was no one in this trail, which is great. Amazing, phenomenal. We love that. So I just went to the longest distance and I placed it right in the center of the trailhead, right? And I used my neck strap to place under the camera so it didn't get wet because it was actively snowing. I placed the neck strap on the floor. I placed the camera over it so it didn't get wet, and I just ran as fast as I possibly could. Just imagine me running full speed away from my camera. Truly a terrifying thought for all filmmakers out there, but that's what I did. So let's just keep going. I used the soundtrack. I'm pausing it again. I used the soundtrack from Smile 2. I think it really worked out. That was whenever when I was on the trail and I was like, I want to make kind of a film like this.
I said, I want to make history.
I really want to use the song from Smile 2. It's phenomenal. Definitely copyrighted, but I really liked it and it was worth it, at the same time. And so, Say what you will. I think it kind of ate, in my opinion, but that's just me. It really works, and I also mixed in some other sound effects we're gonna get to, but that's the song from Smile 2. The Walk. Literally just made up that name after the fact. I was like, what is this film about? A walk.
And that's what this is.
Wish I would have worn something that wasn't, you know, what I was going on a walk for. There's me in my gray sweatpants and my cold shirt because it was 18 degrees outside. There's actually a lot to talk about with the shot. So what I did is I found a nearby park bench, placed my camera over it, placed the neck strap below it so it didn't get wet. This camera that I'm shooting with right now, I only have one lens for but it's a 14 to 15 millimeter zoom lens. This was 14. This is as wide as it could go. I actually did some post to this. I did camera distortion effect on Premiere Pro, changed it up a little bit, made it a little bit wider. I thought it was cool. I thought it worked. I obviously did some color grading to it. But if you'll notice, if you didn't already, so yeah, I have some framing issues with my adjustment layer. See, ready? Are you ready for this? You're not ready for this. Ready? Oh, that's the real jump scare of this movie, actually. You actually never saw that. I digress. You did see that. We're going to talk about the flaws in my films as well. This is the leftover adjustment layer from the previous shot. I wanted to point this out, like I said, because I'm wanting to mention when there's problems as well. You know, I want to mention things like this because these are everyday mistakes and they're very common and they're very easy to make as well. I didn't notice this until after the video already uploaded. Funny story. When I was in film school, I was actually sitting in class one day. I had done this huge cinematography final. This is my final for my cinematography class. Okay. And I'm sitting there. I was really proud of it. It's one of the most proudest things I've ever made to this day in my entire professional film non-career because I'm currently unemployed. I had one singular aspect ratio change. So I had put like mixing aspect ratio. So I had like a letterbox and then it was like a square, kind of like old-timey aspect ratio as well. I had one singular frame where I got the aspect ratios mixed up. I was like, no one's gonna notice. No one's gonna notice one frame the entire cinematography project, okay? Because like that was like the one thing that was wrong with it. And I kid you not, we get done with it, and my professor, everyone's clapping. My professor goes, "Great job," but scrolls all the way back, a million frames, all the way back, stops at pause, goes, "What is this?" Anyways, absolute nightmare. Film school trauma. That is what happened, and it did happen, and that's why I bring it up now, because it happened again, and it's probably gonna happen to you, so just get prepared. That is part of film school, and it's okay, it's normal, it is fine. Anyways, let's not talk about that anymore. So, yes, so I walked across the trail. The camera's on the bench at this point. These are actually sounds that I gathered from, not sponsored at all, Epidemic Sound. I put some, like, just whispering sounds in the background. I think I put, like, a space kind of a hum as well, and then also footsteps. It just really builds the world. So yeah, just put my camera on a park bench, and I just walked across. I might have shot this, like, last. I was very sure what I wanted the story to do and what I wanted the story to be like and everything. This was super easy to film on the front of, like, that I knew what I was doing, and I knew, like, how to act and stuff, even though I was, like, not prepared to act this day. Whisper. Oh my gosh, guys. He walked away. It ate. You know it ate. So this was also at a coffee shop that was actually closed at the moment. Not sure if I was supposed to be there. So it's this coffee shop in the middle of this trail. So I put this camera on this table in the coffee shop, moved it around, put my camera on the table in front of this, swung it, ran all the way across to the other end of the trail, walked across, did this whole scene, and then when I got done, came back. And I had to do it in a kind of swift time because I wanted there to be a lot of swing with that middle swing. It was kind of hard. I'm actually really happy with this shot. That's like my favorite shot in the film, I think. And I think this was actually the first idea that I had when I was like, wait, what if I made a short film about how creepy this place is? What? It was a lot of work, and I think therefore the most rewarding, maybe. Ooh, and then I added that sound effect of the, like, the chip. Really fun. We love you, Epidemic Sound. Not sponsored, I promise. This is probably my least favorite shot, I'll be honest with you, in the whole thing. For two reasons. Number one, it was really dark. I did a lot of color grading to help the scene. The original shot was, like, really dark. You could barely see my eyes. Like, to be honest with you, I was shocked that I was able to pick it up like at all. I thought it was just too far gone in the camera footage because there was this overhead thing I'm walking through, as you can obviously see right here, because it was already pretty overcast. It just blocked away our sun. And also, it's the one that you can tell, I think, the most that I shot by myself. It feels very selfie camera vlogish, and I was able to get some close-ups of myself where it didn't look like that. I think at one point I even like kind of spiked the camera, but I needed more shots, I'll be honest with you. So it's in there. Not the jump scare. Anyways, I did not know how these like POV shots were going to turn out. Again, it was just another idea. I was trying to think of more coverage I could do, again, with this concept that I had. I actually think that they worked pretty well, I'll be honest with you. I actually was very happy with how they turned out. I think if I had done the whole thing like that, maybe it wouldn't have worked, but I think because I intercut them, I actually really liked it a lot better. Cool color grade over it. I think I put a vignette. If you know me, I will live and die by the vignette. You're never going to catch me making a film without a vignette over it, so... This right here. This is an example of a shot that I got of myself where it, number one, didn't look like it. I don't think it looked like I shot it myself. I think it could easily look like there's someone standing next to me, following me along the trail. Call me crazy. I probably am crazy, but I think that this passes. I also just really like how it looks. My face was really red because it was really cold, but it looks like it's because I'm scared. I kind of shot diagonally like this, and I held my arm out kind of like this far, I would probably say, right? Yeah, like this far. Because I put like a 14mm on it. This is an example of how you can do it by yourself, because this shouldn't have worked. I also letterboxed the film. I didn't shoot it this wide. I was able to crop off the top and bottom, so you can kind of miss my shoulder moving a little bit. I just think it really worked. This right here is proof that you can make a film all by yourself and it cannot look bad, and you can actually make it look like you can shoot yourself and make it look like you didn't shoot yourself.
Oh, that's no. In the sense that no. You know what I mean?
Call me crazy. Lots of sound effects. I think at this point there's 7 sound effects layers. I think I had just like whisper sounds, space kind of like ooh ah, and then like a forest like whoosh kind of deal going on. It eats though, so. This was actually super fun. This worked better on the camera than it did in post. That's okay. There's this rock, obviously, as you can see. The camera kind of covered up by this other rock. Again, I shot wider. I was just kind of able to like slip in and move this stick without it looking like I moved the stick. At least I didn't think so on camera. In the edit, you could kind of tell that I moved the stick. The way that it turned out here, I was fine with. This is another shot I'm actually really also happy with. The same way as that first shot, I just put the camera on the ground, put the neck strap over. There's a vignette on it, which makes the floor even look dirtier than it is. I think I did add a little bit of like stain to the lens, so that's why it looks kind of like dirty in the corners. I really like it. That's just me. Sorry about it. I really like it. I ended up accidentally kind of standing very symmetrically. I was trying to stand perfectly in center for like 3 takes of this, and then I just kind of like gave up on the last one. And it ended up being the one that was perfect. So like, never give up. I am a little out of focus. And again, I'm bringing that up because we're talking about the flaws in this as well. You know what? It's actually an artistic choice for the fact that whenever you're in the trails, nothing is entirely clear and you don't understand anything. That's 100% what I was intentionally going for. And that's why it was out of focus. 100%. This was, interestingly enough, also a shot that I made before I even knew the plot. So like this, and then that open shot, which is B-roll stuff that I ended up actually putting in the film. Not the screams. Oh gosh, that sound effect was a little rough, I'll be honest with you. Just a little rough. Definitely not the same shot I just reused. Okay, we have to talk about that. I have so much to say. This Zolly lens, I really actually like. This didn't necessarily entirely transpire the way that I had planned, where I was like going to follow the camera in this like cool parallel motion. It was going to be awesome. That didn't necessarily happen. I actually did that Zolly in post, so again, I also played around with camera distortion. A lot of times when I'm making these films, I'm just like testing things out and trying things out and like doing cool stuff with it. And so like, I just discovered lens distortion. If you couldn't tell from this film, the fact that I've used lens distortion in like every single shot, and I just did a Zolly in post. So I like started with I motion tracked like a lens distortion, like I did like position tracking, and I just made the lens, I think I started it here. Yeah. And then as you can see, it gets longer visually. And I did it here as well. I think it's cooler when it's the shot of me. I did do it here as well. So, and I think I did it for all of my shots up until this point. I like the lighting, I like the composition. I love center frame things. For those of you watching it and you're going, hey, what did he see in the woods? What is the point of this movie? And to that I say, that is for you to figure out. That's actually a you problem. So what I was going for is that like the noises consume him, right? Like he hears too many noises and they like make him go crazy, and he like becomes part of the woods, and he's like the woodsman, and he like keeps over the woods. And then there's like a sequel where he like is also in the woods trying to fight people, and then there's another person, and he actually is like the villain of this woods cinematic universe. We went with like this, and I don't know if that was entirely conveyed well, I'll be honest with you. I wouldn't necessarily say that it was. Again, this is for me to admit the flaws as well, and I think what I should have done is probably had an object or something, or maybe I should have shot myself in like all black. Sorry about that, had some technical difficulties, but we're right back to finish off this film. So of course, the credits. I'm actually really proud of these credits. This again was my favorite shot, and so I like to leave the audience kind of with like what my first thought was. I'm actually really big into credits. I really love the creaking of the swing. Written, directed, edited. I'll be honest with you, the only reason that I put another credit for myself on starring is just because I wanted the credits to last longer. This is only here, so the credits can last longer. That was my short film that I made entirely by myself. But I would totally recommend you trying to do it as well. I shot the whole thing on my Canon M50 vlog camera, the same camera I'm shooting with right now. It was just a really fun experience, and I think it's really good, again, for filmmakers to try out new things like that and to really branch out and explore things a little bit, but also to like watch them back and like kind of do what I'm doing right here and like just notice flaws, you know, like just noticing whenever, you know, I do things like have wrong adjustment layers. It's just stuff that everybody does. I think it's just really important to learn and recap and to share with all of you, so you know you can learn from my mistakes as well, not just from me. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. I would love to do more of these. I have tons of other films that I would love to maybe do like a how it's made kind of deal with. You know, I'm also going to make more films and more films coming up. I just finished a rough cut of a short film that will be coming out 1 week from today's video. It's called The Caller. I'm very excited for you all to see it. And there's a lot of lessons that I learned in that one as well. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. Please be sure, if you like this video, to like and subscribe and to comment. I had a really fun time making this video. Got a free subscription to make my senior thesis film, Nuketown, which is also on the Instagram, which is also up on the channel. Click on it right up here.